Warning. This episode may contain content that is not suitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's the song we love so much of Olivia's?
That the get him back song.
Get him back. He wants to get him back for you.
Oh, thanks, Billy.
And then what do you want to do when you get him back?
Punch him in the penis.
Oh my goodness. Am I a bad influence on your children?
No. It's always been this way, don't worry.
Yeah, it's just another way of expressing it.
Absolutely. Billy, do you want to play your favorite? Okay.
All right.
Here comes Billy's favorite.
All right.
Punch him in the penis.
Guys, I think I'm done here. What in the world did I just watch? It is not easy to shock me at this point, and I'm shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw this. I was like, are you kidding me? What's up, guys? Welcome back to LED Live, where we expose the darkness with the light of Christ. And boy, do we have a show for you today. In this show, we are going to talk about teenage idols, the music that teenagers tend to listen to. So we are discussing Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter, Harry Styles, Olivia Rodrigo, and Billie Eilish.
Man,
This is going to be your show.
I haven't heard of some of those, at least three of them.
Yeah. So, Billie Eilish, you guys are familiar with her. Picture
yeah.
here on the right. I put them all on there to show you guys what's coming up.
Wow.
And Harry
Oh my
Styles has an
goodness.
interesting t-shirt he's
Yeah,
wearing.
he
We're going to
does.
discuss that too. And Ariana Grande, what's up with the triangles?
Yeah, right.
And
It's
the
fine.
position of the triangle.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, Billie Eilish, it is Idol, Teen Idol number 1, everyone. Ding, 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 ding. Let's look at what she is up to. So, Billie Eilish has 2 songs on the same album that are very interesting. Do you guys remember the song from Billie Eilish where she says, all the good girls go to hell?
Yep.
Remember that
The
song?
title, yeah.
What happened in the song? We're about to look at it, but what happens in the music video?
I think she falls from heaven like Lucifer fell from heaven, slapped into some nasty tar or something like that, and like is like walking down the street. But she says, to me, the most iconic line of there was like, my Lucifer is lonely.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, it's
But
interesting.
it was about climate change, don't you remember?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, of course,
Okay,
yeah.
you guys are looking way too deep into it.
Yeah. So on that same album, there is another song called Bury a Friend. I was showing Mikey this yesterday. There is a particular clip in this song that you'll probably recognize because the exact same clip is used for All the Good Girls Go to Hell. But first, let's look at the lyrics. For the debt I owe, gotta sell my soul. Because I can't say no, I can't say no. Then my limbs all froze and my eyes won't close. And I can't say no, I can't say no. She's clearly saying,
She openly said, gotta sell my soul.
gotta sell my soul. I gotta get debt to pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's look at this clip that I was talking about. That's from her music video, Bury a Friend. Let's see if you guys recognize this particular clip from also the music video for All the Good Girls Go to Hell.
Wow.
Oh, so like, wait, she dies and then is like, now she's proceeding forward, or
She in this whole music video, she's basically walking through hallways. She's literally singing "I Want to End Me" over and
Yeah.
over and over, which again should be disturbing if
Yeah.
teenagers are singing "I want to go kill myself."
That's what I
Yeah.
thought I heard. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
and why are they doing this?
But when we talked about that, like you mentioned it, that some of her lyrics kind of promote suicide and all that, and people are like, no, she understands me. She helped me not commit suicide.
Yeah, I do not understand like why you would want to be around something like this. I mean, clearly, the Bible and Christianity talks about to focus on positive and good things, right?
Whatsoever things are lovely and pure.
Yeah, Philippians 4:8. Those things are going to help our minds increase
Right.
into better space, right? If you're just sitting there going like death, kill,
Yeah.
drugs, rat, demonic. I mean, did you notice how like demonic that looked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like almost like you are being oppressed by these people that you cannot see in the shadows.
Exactly. And that's what this whole music clip seems to be about. She's walking through a hallway and they just grab her and stick a bunch of syringes in her.
Inject her with black liquid.
Exactly. And if you pause it, you see it flashing between her flesh and like these veins that are popping up, black veins. So it's clearly they're trying to transform her into something else by force, right?
Which you see in all the good girls go to hell. Transforms her into Lucifer.
Exactly. So that's
Crazy.
where we're going next. So these are the lyrics for All the Good Girls Go to Hell. My Lucifer is lonely, standing there killing time, can't commit to anything but a crime. I find this interesting. She keeps referring to Peter over and over, which we know is a character from the Bible. Peter's on vacation, an open invitation, animals, evidence, pearly gates, reference to heaven, look more like a picket fence. Once you get inside them, got friends, but can't invite them.
So I have one thing. When she mentions Peter and then she mentions the gates of heaven, Peter's supposed to be in some people's minds like the gatekeeper of heaven. So if he's on vacation, it's like, I'm not going to heaven
That
anyway.
makes sense.
It also says that the hell will not prevail against thee. And so by saying Peter's asleep or he's on vacation, he's not even around. Hell's coming for you.
Right.
Interesting.
Right.
What does she mean by the pearly gates or like a picket fence?
Instead of like something that's keeping you out, like a jail.
Or
Oh, you just
marvelous
hop over
looking,
it.
it's just a joke.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Hmm.
So then it continues. It says, this is more toward the end of the song. My Lucifer is lonely. There's nothing left to save now. My God is going to owe me. There's nothing left to save now. So your God owes you something? Or is it like Satan who is your God and owes you something? I don't know. But very interesting stuff. Definitely seems like putting Lucifer on a pedestal, and even more so in the music video. Let's take a look.
My Lucifer is lonely.
Yeah.
So this is pretty intense. And again, there is a progression where she has a music video clip where she says, sold my soul, blah, 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 blah. The syringes go in her back. And this video starts with the syringes in her back. And she comes down from heaven and now is a devil herself and says, oh, my Lucifer is lonely.
Yeah, and all the good girls go to hell. You know, there's such an attack on Christians being good, perfection, all that. The media, it's just like there's no originality to it.
Yep.
It's always a constant attack on God, Christians, his government. And I just looked up what's the main demographic that's listening to Billie Eilish, because people think, oh, you know, okay, well, it doesn't matter. I'm an adult. The majority are females, like more girls are doubling boys, but there's 22% of females that are 13 to 17 that are listening to Billie Eilish. The main majority is 18 to 24 females. I mean, that's just like 40%. But that's these are young
very
people
young.
that are listening, 18 to 24. So 13 to 24 are who are listening. When it gets to 25 and 34, it's like it plummets. So young people are listening.
Because she's only like 21, 22 right now. So
I know so many young kids that like her music.
Yep.
She's a talented singer. I think that in itself is feeding this, and then they're accepting whatever slime she's doing. Yeah.
The message, yeah.
Yep. So let's go back to Bury a Friend. Now, she did a live performance on Jimmy Kimmel, And remember that she was talking in this song about selling her soul, right? Let's look at this performance. And at the end of the performance, what happens?
See, here's another thing too.
Wow.
I want to point out about this.
Mm-hmm.
You heard her voice right there in the tail end, but it's highly produced before that point.
Mm-hmm.
I really think these demons are singing through these people.
Oh, absolutely. They
and
are.
I think when you actually hear their real voice, it's like, they're not that good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what Beyonce
Right.
said. She's like, when I'm on stage, I can sing loud, I can sing strong,
She's
but that's
Sasha
not me.
Pierce.
Sasha Pierce, yeah.
Mhm.
It was way better than I expected, and Sasha was in full effect. Sasha is my alter ego, and when people see me, sometimes I think that when they meet me and they speak with me, they're expecting Sasha, and I'm really kind of shy, and not really shy, but more reserved, and nothing like Sasha. But I guess I wouldn't be very entertaining on the stage, so Sasha comes out, and she's fearless. You know, she can do things that I cannot do when I'm in rehearsal. I mean, I can try, but then it just doesn't happen. I can sing notes and sing strong and do all these things that when I'm just by myself, I can't do. And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me, and I knew that was gonna be my coming out night.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj is Roman. Like, they will tell you that's not me up there.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so it's like, I want it in me. It's happy. Let's kill ourselves, everybody. You know, it's like, that's how Satan is brainwashing people. Let's disguise it. Let's put it in this package, like Disney package. Like, I want it in me. Yay.
And what's crazy too is it's like she's got this crazy huge fan base right there. Like, we love you. We love everything that you say to us, right? If people would actually take a step back and be like, this is damaging.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you be wanting to support this? I mean, what if nobody listened to this kind of stuff?
No.
Right.
Like, why would I listen to that and turn that off? Right? This is disturbing to me that people are gravitating towards this.
Yeah.
So did you guys see what came up on the sheet?
A hand, kind of like a.
Well, a demonic looking demon.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So she literally would just like bend back in front of that thing.
Which, by the way, in dancing, that takes a lot of effort. You actually almost have to open yourself up to the chakras to even fold like that.
What
Yeah,
do you
it
mean
was-
by that?
What do I mean by
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Oh my goodness. It takes so much
Because
work.
you are a hip hop dancer, for those who don't know.
Yes. And so when I guess I used to get up on stage and it would kind of just overtake me, I didn't have to worry about prepping. It would just
The
happen.
music.
The music.
Yeah.
But for her to do that, she's either letting it just enter her to happen that way, or she's prepped for that, which takes a lot of physical stretching and strength, but also like meditating usually.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's all
Yeah,
I mean.
I don't think I can just like bend over and just hang there for a while and make it look super relaxed. Like it
Yeah.
takes a ton of core strength.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that someone can't be able to do that in a normal fashion, but that just didn't look
Natural.
natural. That's right.
And I think we should give you some credit because you were in the hip hop industry. You were doing this
Mm-hmm.
professionally,
Yeah.
you know? So it's not like you're just saying something out of thin air. Like you actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you experienced music just kind of taking over, and you feeling the music and doing things that you normally couldn't do, right?
Yeah.
So
for
what's
sure.
the imagery of this whole thing? That there's a devil behind the curtain?
Yes.
Like a shadow figure,
How come people don't see it for what it is?
right?
And I'm
It's
sure
just
people
art, dude.
people are
Man.
saying, well, she's just singing about when you go to sleep, where do you go? But like putting all the pieces together, like, why is she talking about suicide? Why is she talking about selling my soul? And then there's just this demonic being when the same imagery shows up in her music video, right?
Right.
And I'm not trying to knock her talent or anything. You're talking about she's a good singer. There is a catchiness to it, but in all honesty, and I'm not saying she can't sing, but what I'm hearing isn't like an amazing voice like on The Voice, where they turn around, they push the button, like, whoa, what is this? It's all just like depressing and stuff. And that's what people like. This is like when I grew up, it was Nirvana. It was like, it was real depressing.
And he actually couldn't even sing.
Yeah. So it's like I think this is what the mainstream is pushing. We want society to be depressed. We want society on pharmaceutical drugs and anti-suicide and antidepressant and all these things.
Right.
Because that's what Satan wants. He wants to intoxicate everybody's minds so that he can be their God.
Right. That's an interesting point. I think that's why people are gravitating to this, because they're dark, they're demonic, they're depressed, and they're doing drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's move on to another song on the same album, where it's called You Should See Me in a Crown. These are the lyrics. Bite my tongue, bide my time, wearing a warning sign, wait till the world is mine. Visions I vandalize, cold in my kingdom size, fell for these ocean eyes. You should see me in a crown, I'm gonna run this nothing town. Watch me make him bow, one by one, one by one. Now, she has a music video out, right? What's the symbol on her crown?
Got crosses on there.
Christian crosses. So look at these pictures here. She performed this song live on the Ellen Show. Again, crosses everywhere. Necklaces and earrings. She's wearing snake rings. I just find this really interesting because, again, it seems like in her music on this album, everything kind of works together, right? In the other two songs, they work together. She's telling a story, a progressive story. This made me think, and I don't want to make conclusive statements here because I want to be careful with that. However, we know about Roger Murnau's story, right? For those who haven't heard at home, we'll put a link, a title card here at the top. You can watch it for yourself. He was a Satanist who got involved with like the Satanic secret societies, came out of that, and the demons came after him and just like attacked him left and right. He did an interview years ago before he died. He's a Canadian man from Montreal. And in it, he said, the reason why people worship Satan, especially higher up, right, is because they genuinely believe that Satan's going to eventually rule the world, have the world to be his kingdom, which was unrightfully taken from him by God, and he's going to defeat Jesus, and everybody who worships him gets to live with the idea of do what thou wilt. Shall be the whole of the law forever, right?
He said, you guys have got a great future ahead of you. Because we've been told, the high priest of our society, secret society, has been told that the master has very special plans for you too.
Now, what did he mean by the master?
Satan. And we were interested to hear more about it. And he told us, he says, look, we worship spirits. We worship Lucifer and all his angels. They're just as beautiful as they did before they were cast out of heaven. He says there was a misunderstanding in the whole thing. He says among the inhabitants of the galaxies. And he says our master was misunderstood. And God did not bear with him like he does with people that make mistakes today. So we're in a warfare, good against evil. And we happen to be the evil ones, but we're not that bad. He says, I look at this business between the forces of good and evil. He says, you believe in one person believes in God, and everyone believes in Lucifer. It's like politics.
So the great controversy is real. And you've heard someone talk about it that's on the other side.
And to these people, they are sold to the fact that Christ will not return to this planet with power and great glory. He's going to abdicate all claims to the planet because the high priest once said that Christ will abdicate all claim to the planet because he knows that it is lawfully and rightfully Satan's. And at that time, he says, Lucifer, you mentioned Lucifer a lot of times, but he mentions Satan also. He says, the master, usually they like to talk about the master will resurrect his people from the graves.
And then, so we see her selling her soul in this album, she says it. Then she honors Lucifer in the next song with the clips being very similar. And then on the same album, she talks about, I'm going to rule this town. I'm going to have my kingdom. I'm just waiting my time. The world's mine. They're all going to bow for me. So to me, that's just really an interesting concept. I'm not making conclusive statements. I'm just saying it's really interesting. And then on top of that, she's wearing a crown with the Christian crosses. And during her show, the Christian crosses are everywhere, but also the snake, which is a representative of Satan.
You think about what that statement means. I'm going to make them bow. Like I'm going to make them worship. That's what the devil is aiming towards. So even though this, in a weird way, is not overtly like pushing towards religion, it's setting people up for what's going to happen in the end. There is going to be a religious order that says worship or die. And look at what this is kind of even preparing those that aren't setting foot in church. Many of these people probably aren't, but they're getting that message.
Yeah, and God never uses force when it comes to worship of him. It says every knee shall bow, because when they see him, that he's the truth. Like, he is God.
Your only response is to do that.
Yeah, you have no choice. It's not force, but this is just reality. It's the truth. Now, to say I'll make them bow, I think I've seen it in so many different songs, and I want to put together something about this, that I really think that Satan these are his hymnals, his praises are going out to the world through music like this, through these people that say, I sold my soul. They're openly saying, I sold my soul to who? To Satan. And now he's giving her lyrics to write about the world is mine. I'm going to make everyone bow. This is his song. And everybody's chanting along and raising their hands and filling stadiums.
Yeah.
That's what Satan wants. He wants the world to worship him, and it's happening in all these concerts.
And I like what you're saying there, because I think a lot of people will say, no, but this is not Satan. Like, this is, or like, this is just the music industry doing this thing. But what I find interesting is that she was on Jimmy Fallon, and she actually admits, I direct all my music videos. Why? Because I want to know exactly what I'm putting in there.
So she's directing the videos.
She directs them. And she says, I do this. Watch this.
And you direct your own videos, or have done it, which is extra pressure. Why put that on? Why put that more pressure on yourself?
It's a lot of work. So, sometimes I wish that I didn't want to do it so bad. I just really want to do it. Like, I don't know. I feel like when you have your own idea and you know what you want, sometimes it's just the best way to go about it is to just do it yourself, even though it takes much more out of you.
Is it really her idea?
Is it really her idea? Maybe she was forced to say this.
Or maybe she was influenced by a spirit.
Exactly.
If they're speaking to her and through her, then she's going to get exactly what needs to go into that music video.
Yep.
I just had a dream. I woke up and I dreamed that I was getting needles stuck in my back, and I was Lucifer, and I felt, who knows?
Yeah. So anyway, just wanted to put it out there, like, this is her making these decisions. Now, Billie Eilish came into the news recently because she did an article with the Rolling Stone that people were pretty shocked by what she said. So let's take a look. This is the comment section with Brett Cooper from the Daily Wire commenting on this.
Okay, so for some context, if you didn't know, Billie Eilish came out as lesbian late last year. She is ready to talk about it big time, and she did in a new Rolling Stone profile. And the article is titled, Billie Eilish would like to reintroduce herself. The only thing that stands out to people, the only thing that people are talking about is her sexuality, because she said the most outlandish things that 10 years ago would have stayed private. Like, it would be ridiculous. You would be ostracized if you said things like this. And now, sadly, it's just commonplace. And fair warning, what we're about to talk about is very sexual. Billie Eilish tells Rolling Stone about her song Lunch and realizing her sexuality. Quote, I wrote some of it before even doing anything with a girl, and then wrote the rest after it. I've been in love with girls for my whole life, but I just didn't understand. Until last year, I realized that I wanted my face in a I just don't even know. I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm just like, we could have done without you saying that.
I wish that would have been a secret, but you've mentioned it.
Just thank you. Let's move on and never speak about this again. Like, we do not need to know what happens on your mattress. So then Popgrave posted another quote from the article. Billie Eilish tells Rolling Stone that she likes to in front of a mirror.
I heard that. I wish I didn't hear that, but I just heard that.
And again, I am just so sorry. I'm just going to rush through this. Quote, partly because it's hot, but it also makes me have such a raw, deep connection to myself and my body, and have a love for my body that I have not ever really had. I've got to say, looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking I look really good right now is so helpful. I have learned that looking at myself and watching myself feel pleasure has been an extreme help in loving myself and accepting myself and feeling empowered and comfortable. I promise there are other ways to love yourself. I promise there are other ways to feel comfortable in your own skin, and it starts with not publishing this in Rolling Stone. Quote, people should be it, man. I can't stress it enough as somebody with extreme body issues and dysmorphia that I've had my entire life. Like, no wonder that is the only thing people are talking about from the article. What else is there to talk about? That is, like, absurd.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is Sodom and Gomorrah, man.
I would agree. And the one thing, I mean, I don't want to hang on this idea too long either, but the idea about masturbating to yourself. I mean, we talked about this on this channel many times, right? God gave sexual pleasure to bring a man and a woman close together and knit them together in a marriage context, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that when the ultimate thing you could possibly do for somebody is to give them pleasure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're talking about somebody who is narcissistically staring at themselves in the mirror and getting off on that.
No.
Mm-hmm.
This is where our world is at.
And this is what's being taught to teens. Some teenager is reading that and is like 14, 15, 16. And she's like, I've never tried that before.
Right. I like her. I like her music.
I like her music. And they're in their puberty, right? And they're like ready to explore and asking questions about sex. And this comes up and they're like, my parents aren't home. Maybe I should try that too.
You know
So
what I mean?
there is something to this though. In the witchcraft world, this is how you become a god to yourself.
Really?
Instead of acting, this is going to be in the androgyny video, but it's a ceremony that the Wiccans do to actually get rid of all genders and become genderless in the Wiccan world. And you become like God by doing that.
Wow.
You can either do it in a sexual act with others or by masturbating by yourself.
Oh, interesting.
And getting that pleasure from yourself.
Because then you ultimately don't need
anyone.
else. You know, it's referred to as self-abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times it's talked about as self-abuse, right? I thought about that. Why do they call it self-abuse? What's actually happening? Like, are you actually like harming yourself, right? I think you are.
Mm-hmm.
I think you are. You're harming that connection and that peace that God intended for you to glue your marriage together. Because marriage is tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's at the table. Marriage is not easy.
The science keeps proving the Bible.
Yes.
Like Jesus said, to look after a woman, to lust after her is the same as committing adultery in your heart. Now with MRI machines and stuff, they're showing your brain fires off. There's medical science out there that says that pornography causes brain damage.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And I don't think it's just watching something on screen. It's the act that happens while you're watching it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's harming the system that God set in place. And when God creates a system, especially the God of pleasure, he has said in his Bible that no eye has seen, no ear has heard anything that he has in store for those that love him, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pleasures that he's got on the other side of this crazy mess that we're in right now is we can't even think about what's over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
All we can think about is this momentary pleasure that we get here on this earth. And dude, this is breaking that system. Young kids, I hope that you're listening. If any young kids are listening to this, please don't break the model that God gave you. You will not be sorry if you just do life like God wanted us to do it.
Yeah, wait for marriage is the best decision you could ever make.
Amen.
But like you said, the momentary pleasure that we did something about the Disney's Road to Destruction or whatever, Path to Destruction, and how many people started out Christian and left Christianity just for the sake of, I want to have sex this type of way, either out of wedlock or LGBT or I'm pansexual or whatever. How many people are missing eternity, choosing to miss out on eternal life for momentary pleasure on earth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. So, speaking of that topic, speaking of her song Lunch that Brett Cooper is talking about, Coachella happened recently. Major festival. Where is it? California or something, I think.
Yeah, it's out near Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Beyond.
And so Billie Eilish was performing and played her song Lunch. This is the song Lunch.
I could eat that girl for lunch. Yeah, she dances on the clown. Tastes like she might be the one. I can never get enough. I could buy her so much stuff. It's a gravy, not a crush. Hold on. Call me when you're there. Said I bought you something rare, and I left it under clear. She knows she's coming up the stairs, so I'm pulling up the chair, and I'm pulling up my hair.
Oh man.
Wow.
Interesting, huh?
There's such a push to make this so trendy and popular, and like everyone
Yep.
should be gay.
And she's totally cross-dressing. She looks like a dude.
I know, she's so masculine. This is not attractive.
Yeah.
She is an attractive girl.
Once again, attacking sexuality is one of the two things God instituted the marriage, and he instituted the Sabbath in the Garden of Eden.
Mhm.
And the marriage is really, once again, something that God said, do it this way. Here's the parameters of that. Here's the fences of
here's
that.
the best way
Yeah.
for you.
Here's the fences of that. And you think about what God did with putting a tree in the middle of the garden. He showed us, here's life. Here's some fences. That's off bounds, right? And what this is pushing is the bounds of everything. And it's really an attack on God. It's really telling God, you know what? You told me I can't do this, but I'm going to do it in your face, and I'm going to make a bunch of other people do it too.
It's the spirit of lawlessness. That's what's coming. The Antichrist spirit is the spirit of lawlessness. There's no laws on gender. There's no laws of physics or nature or biology or sexuality. It's a free-for-all. It's fluid. Everything just goes.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. So, Billie Eilish, that's that segment. We are off to Teenage Idol number 2. Has anybody heard of her?
Yeah, I don't know who this is.
I would have thought that was Megan Fox in the past.
So I didn't hear of her either because like we don't really listen to this stuff.
Is this AI?
Nope, this is her. And so apparently she was on Disney as well, just like our final contestant for today, Sabrina Carpenter. And so she was, Disney star, young girl, 21, 22-ish, and broke out as a musician, and teenagers love her. So let's take a look what she's all about. So this is a little news clip from The Hollywood Reporter, where it talks about how she is handing out contraceptives at her concerts for the other teenage girls that might want to sleep around. And also this was done by an abortion clinic. So, or like an abortion, organization. So we'll see what the message is.
Olivia Rodrigo's team is reportedly no longer allowing abortion funds to hand out contraceptives on her Guts World Tour. This news comes following morning after pills and condoms being given out at Rodrigo's show in St. Louis by the Missouri Abortion Fund. According to reports that surfaced on Friday, Rodrigo's team told the abortion funds that she's partnered with for future tour stops that they're no longer allowed to hand out contraceptives. DC Abortion Fund Communications Manager Jade Hurley said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, "The Guts World Tour is asking abortion funds not to bring emergency contraception, condoms, or lube to tour stops. We hope to see this change before DC's date on July 20th. While the singer's St. Louis show went viral, it's worth noting the abortion funds tabling at previous shows, like the Carolina Abortion Fund at the March 8th concert in Charlotte, North Carolina, also had contraceptives available. Ahead of kicking off her Guts World Tour, Rodrigo announced she was launching a new initiative, the Fund for Good, through which she would partner with local chapters of the National Network of Abortion Funds.
So she wanted to collaborate with these abortion funds, and I guess her tour organization staff eventually said, no, not anymore. I don't know why, but she invited them, and they were there for at least one concert, and handing out condoms to, teenagers?
Are they saying that she's not allowed to anymore? Is that what they're saying?
I guess the organizations were not allowed to come anymore, but they were there to her invitation.
Wow.
And this is like her. I was trying to look up her target audience. It says like 15 and up. I mean,
yeah.
How old is she?
Dude.
She's like 21, 22.
See, here's also part of the problem too. It's like you're 21, 22, and it's like you may be engaging in this kind of behavior, but
Don't lead
15
other
years old.
people.
Like I've got a 14-year-old right now, and I'd be mortified if there was a place encouraging this.
Yeah, so 16 to 22 is like the target audience for her.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Wow.
So besides this,
And what's crazy is how normalized it's become to dress like a prostitute on stage.
I know.
I mean, dude, she was like
know.
literally wearing like fishnets and a some kind of lingerie. And now what comes on national television, slapped on a magazine at the grocery store, your daughter buys the CD and she's dressed literally like a prostitute on the side of the road.
Right. Another thing I noticed about that clip that you just played was, do you remember in Taylor Swift, the video we did on her, she was floating over the crowd?
Yeah.
You know, she's floating over the crowd. I saw something with, I think it was maybe Nicki Minaj in like a Ferrari or something like this that was like floating over the crowd. What does that do when people are elevated up there like that? And that's your star that you're there to like worship.
Yep, you're
That's
bowing
your
down to them.
God.
You're looking up to this being coming above.
When you come to these type of environments, this is a Babylonian worship ceremony.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
That's what it is. So what is part of a Babylonian ceremony as well is obviously sex again.
Yeah.
So this is her song, Bad Idea, right? Now, this song is about her wanting to get back together with her ex and, you know, like going over to his house, and constantly it comes up of like, it's a bad idea. Everybody in the video, everybody's telling her, no, it's a bad idea. Don't do it. Don't get back together. Don't do it. But then she's like, F it. And then she goes over to his house, and this is the scene where she lays on his bed with fireworks. What do you guys think this is supposed to represent?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like
They
when
just
do
had
you have a
sex.
bed and fireworks?
Fireworks on the man, though.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when I played The Sims heavily, I was addicted. Every time they had the woohoo, which was sex, fireworks, right?
They have
People
sex in
understand-
The
Really
Sims?
what they call
Yeah,
it.
they do.
Woohoo.
Yeah, woohoo.
Wow.
Anyway, wanted to point this out. Like this is what's being portrayed to teenagers. Like, get your free condom, have sex with your boyfriend out of wedlock. Oh, and if you're pregnant, you just go and abort your child because she will give you an opportunity to do so.
And you know, even if everybody says it's a bad idea, you know, do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
Who cares?
So like if your
It's
parents are
nothing.
telling
Like sex
you
is
don't
so
do
cheap,
it.
like it's nothing.
So the thing is, like, when you're a teenage kid, especially daughters, here's this song, right? And you sit her down, Scotty, you have a teenager. You sit her down and like, hey, look, this is why we don't have sex before marriage, right? It's the Bible. This is the logic behind it. And she, if, because you don't let her listen to this stuff, but if she were to hear this song over and over and over, and it's her idol, she's going to look up more to her than to you. What is she going to think? No, I'm going to do it. F it, you know?
Because let's be real, as a parent, how many times are you actually sitting down and having that conversation?
Yeah, not
Right.
often.
That awkward
They're getting it from
conversation
here.
maybe comes up a couple times, right?
Yeah.
I mean, seems like
Hopefully.
in this world, I have actually had to mention it multiple times to my kids, but not in the frequency that people have their CD player on repeat or whatever, you know,
Yep.
playlist they have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
exactly.
don't even know what a CD is.
Your playlist.
So we saw this in the beginning. She is very fond of the devil hands, throwing them up over and over and,
And the
over.
tongue.
Yeah,
And the
that's
tongue.
right.
Yep.
Miley
Before.
Cyrus
The
looking thing.
tongue.
And so Jimmy Kimmel is back, and this time he is driving his very young kids to school who love Olivia. And so Olivia Rodrigo. And so they pick her up, and let's see their reaction.
Oh, there's a hitchhiker up here. Should we pick her up?
Wait a minute.
I think we should pick her up
Oh my
for
God,
sure.
it's Olivia Rodrigo.
What was it?
Hey!
Oh my God, hi.
Do you guys mind if I hitch a ride? Could I come with you?
Hi there, how are you?
Hi, Bud. Hi.
That's Billy. What's your name?
I'm Olivia. Do you guys mind if I hitch a ride to school with you guys?
Well, you have to buckle up, Olivia, if you want to ride with us.
We
Safety
would love
first.
that.
Deal.
Jane, what do you think?
Hi, Jane. I'm Olivia. Nice to meet you. You look so cute today.
Thank you.
Billy, what do you think about this?
What's the song we love so much of Olivia's?
The Get Him Back song.
Get him back. He wants to get him back for you.
Oh, thanks, Billy.
And then what do you want to do when you get him back?
Punch him in the penis.
Oh my goodness.
Am I a bad influence on your children?
No. It's always been this way, don't worry.
Yeah, it's just another way of expressing it.
Absolutely. Billy, do you want to play your favorite? Okay.
All right.
Here comes Billy's favorite.
All right.
Punch him in the penis.
I wanna get him back. I wanna make him really jealous. I'm gonna make him feel bad. Oh, I wanna get him back. It's gonna get, I really miss him and it makes me real sad. Oh, I want sweet revenge. And I want him again. I want to get him back. Oh, sorry.
That girl is 11 tops, and she knew who this woman was
Knew
in
all the
plain
lyrics.
clothes. She's singing the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what?
Guys, I think I'm done here. Like, what in the world did I just watch?
Yeah, and this is like
Yeah.
broadcast on mainstream television to make you think it's normal for an 11-year-old girl
Oh,
to
it's
sing these
funny
songs.
when he says he wants to punch him in the
Yeah,
penis.
and they
Right.
brainwash you with the laugh track.
It is not easy to shock me at this point, and I'm shocked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
dude.
was shocked when I saw this. I was like, are you kidding me? How old is that boy? Like 5, 6?
But it's because we don't watch this stuff on a daily basis. We're more sensitized. People over the years have been seeing the same stuff over and over to where they're not shocked at this. They're like, oh, isn't that cute?
Well, she even knows it. She goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I've had such a bad effect on your children."
And the parents laugh it off.
yeah, it's
And then
okay.
Oh, it's
okay,
fine.
fine. Let's. Yeah, I want to punch him in the penis. She said it twice.
Yeah. And they're like, should we play the song where that makes you want to punch them in the penis? Let's do it. You know, like.
Wow. I don't want to see the thumbnail for this show.
This is crazy, bro.
And if anyone says, no, but this music doesn't affect my kids. I'm just saying. I think we've said enough about this, but I hope everybody at home is as shocked as we are. I really hope so.
Yeah, is this girl going to go to the concert where she's passing out condoms and lube? I
Yeah.
mean,
There's
what
a
the-
reason why we talk about these things, and I mean this with all honesty of my heart. I know a lot of people that watch our show, they may never ever have their kids listen to or pay attention to this, but you also need to, as a parent, understand what's out there.
Yep.
Because if you don't understand what's out there, it's real easy. Like I've never even heard of this person.
Right.
I mean, if my kids came home and said, "Hey, I got this new artist that I'm listening to," or whatever like this, I would have no context unless I actually went and looked it up.
Did the research.
So here's a call to parents, right? If your kids start to listen to music, no matter who they are, even if they're Christian artists, look them up. Do some research, parents, please, because this is what's trying to be fed to your kid.
Yeah, and you have like this sense of security, like, oh, it's on the radio, you know, it's FCC approved or whatever. Like, there used to be a time when there was censorship and all that. And so you think, well, if it's on the radio, it must be okay. And it sounds poppy and fun. And what are they singing about? And are they passing out condoms and lube at the concerts?
Wow.
You guys ready for a contestant?
I don't know if I want to continue forward.
Tap out.
What, are these getting worse?
Do it for our audience, Scotty, who
Are these
needs to
getting
hear about
worse?
this. No, I would say this is the top. Well, actually, I don't know.
Wow.
You guys want to look at Harry Styles' interesting T-shirt we saw in the
Harry
beginning?
Styles.
Oh my
This guy
goodness.
is a piece of work. Oh
It's
my.
crazy. And it says safe sex.
Safe sex, and what are
Two
they
males.
doing?
You've got to be kidding me.
So let's look at this T-shirt. This is from
This is
Keith
like his?
Haring. Do you guys know who Keith Haring is?
No.
He did a lot of 80s graphics like this.
Yeah, he's an artist, and he's
Yeah.
a queer artist.
Yeah.
And so Harry Styles is wearing this T-shirt on, wearing his T-shirt. Now let's look at the next one. I'd love to fellate George Harrison. Do you guys know who George Harrison is?
From the Beatles,
the
right?
Beatles? Do you
Oh
guys
my-
know what fellate means?
It sounds like
I looked it up.
fellatio.
I looked it up. It was either
Oral
to
sex.
masturbate or to
Make them.
oral.
Yeah,
Oral.
fellatio.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
So interesting. The internet picks it up because it's Harry Styles, and people start copying his T-shirt, literally calling it Harry Styles I'd love to fellate George Harrison shirt, and sell it on eBay. That's how big this guy is.
Yeah.
Right? Like if he does one thing, everybody copies and follows. So You cannot tell me that this guy does not have an influence on the society.
This is Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. On a t-shirt.
Mm.
Yep. So he was also on Vogue magazine wearing a dress. He really appreciates cross-dressing.
Mm-hmm. What's this say? Anytime you're putting
barriers
up in your life, you're limiting yourself.
That
no
is,
rules, lawlessness.
That is the
it
devil
says
right
in the
there.
bottom, makes his own rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, this is so crazy. You could sit here and you could look at Hollywood over and over and over again, and it's like, I don't understand how you can't start to believe in the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to fight against it this bad if there's not something to the 10 Commandments.
And you know what I find interesting is that what religion are they attacking? Are they attacking Buddhism?
Oh, yeah, right.
Or are they attacking Islam?
Right.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so here and there, maybe in like The Simpsons, they'll attack one of those
Yeah,
things.
these are not Hindu ideas.
Yeah, but the major attack is always on Christian principles.
Well,
always.
It says when you're putting up barriers, what barriers? There's no barriers on me because the commandments are written on our heart. That's
Right.
the barriers. We
They
know
set
what's
us
right
free.
and wrong. And so he's saying if you give in to that Holy Spirit prompting, your conscience telling you this is right and wrong, then you're putting barriers on yourself.
And
You're
just think
limiting
about
yourself.
this from a pedophile standpoint.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So, are you telling me that if a 5-year-old is now being abused by an older person, like that you don't need to put a barrier around that 5-year-old?
Yeah, you're limiting yourself, bro. No barriers on age.
You're limiting that person that's going to abuse that 5-year-old. And what account do we have? What 5-year-old has been abused in life and have ever come out of that in a better situation?
Never.
Every single time we have so much data on psychology to know that if we abuse children, they have an absolutely awful life. There has to be boundaries in your life.
Right.
But if there's no boundaries when you drive the car,
Yeah.
these guys like going down the road. Do
Hey,
they
I
like
like the
everybody
left
staying on
lane.
the same side of the road, right?
Yeah.
Do you like people actually going the speed limit or stopping at the stop sign? Because, I mean, if you have this mentality right here, why don't we just chuck every single thing out? Because we're limiting yourself. I can get to work half the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
But the only reason that they're fighting against Christianity is it's the only religion standing for something. All the other ones are all roads of Gnosticism that line up together towards the New World ecumenicism thing. So,
they're pushing the boundaries to basically show you crazy.
Mhm.
And the wheels are going to come off the train at some point, and then they're going to go, we don't want this anymore. Whatever you give us, we'll take it. We just don't want this.
Mhm.
And that's when the devil goes, I got a religion for you.
Thinking of the train, you guys remember that story of there's a train and like Satan is driving the train and
Right.
the whole world is on it.
Yeah.
And they're going for climax.
Speeding to perdition.
But
right.
But like they're partying, man.
Mm-hmm.
They are on the white road to destruction.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And narrow is the way that leads to life, but there's few who find it because it's a hard road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reality of this too is I spent a little bit of time in Hollywood. So when you actually, and I've hung out with not quite this level of celebrity, but you know, maybe the under the A list, maybe B list types people. You just certainly know their name. They're not happy.
Right.
Right.
A lot of the celebrities I met, they're not happy.
No.
That's the reason why they do the most drugs. That's why the reason they can't stay married together.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, if you live in this like free for all debaucherous lifestyle that these guys are all trying to push onto society, it's not happiness.
No, it's not.
So, People magazine actually wrote about this cover, and it says Styles, who became the first man to land a solo cover of Vogue when he graced the December 2020 issue in a lace-trimmed dress and tuxedo jacket, previously told the publication that he doesn't like limiting himself when it comes to the outfits he chooses to wear. He says clothes are there to have fun with and experiment with and play with. What's really exciting is that all of these lines are just kind of crumbling away, he told the outlet. When you take away there's clothes for men and there's clothes for women, once you remove any barriers, obviously you open up the arena in which you can play. I'll go and shop sometimes and I just find myself looking at the women's clothes thinking they're amazing. It's like anything. Anytime you're putting barriers up in your own life, you're just limiting yourself, Styles added. There's so much joy to be had in playing with clothes. I've never really thought too much about what it means. It just becomes this extended part of creating something. Now, look at this one. People magazine.
Oh my goodness.
Harry Styles dresses as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz during Halloween-themed concert in New York City.
Those red shoes and the outfit and everything, I haven't looked too deeply into this, but that has Wiccan or occult meanings behind
the red
it.
shoes are like a pedophilia thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the blood of the children. It's a sacrificial
Yeah.
blood thing.
And so this outfit for him to choose that was so meaningful.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
That is interesting.
So do you guys know what it means specifically that he is dressed as Dorothy?
Tell us.
Like he's in The Wizard of Oz.
Look at the next slide. It means friend of Dorothy means a gay man. You know why?
Really?
Because in The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy was very open and very receptive of a lot of people. And so that's why this is like urban slang, that if you are a friend of Dorothy, it actually means you're a gay man.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's like code word, like I'm a
Mhm.
friend of Dorothy.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, just the idea of like, oh, you know, clothes are there to express yourself and have fun and everything, right? The Bible talks a lot about nakedness, that they may not see your shame, like, you know, don't be covered. I mean, look at what the Laodicean, you know, they are blind, poor, naked, miserable, all those things, right? And when man tried to cover themselves in the first place, right? They tried to do it with figs, and we tried to do it in our own accord. And and the symbol of clothing is really like, you know, so deep and rich in the Bible of like, this is Christ and this is his righteousness, and we have filthy rags and all these people. And these guys are just mixing that whole idea up and just tossing everything into a cup.
And the Bible specifically says, you shall not, as a male, wear the clothes of a female, and a female shall not wear the clothes of a male.
Confusion.
It's confusion. Yeah.
I want to read something out of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 8 through 10, because this is, like we're talking about, these people have influence. These are idols. They're on stage. Millions of
they're
people.
being worshipped.
Yeah, millions of people look to them. I want to be like them. I used to be one of these people. I used to dress just like Marilyn Manson. I want to be just like him. So whatever they promote, that's what the new mindset is, the pop culture, the popular idea of humanity. And the Bible is talking about this. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 8 through 10. It says, "And then the lawless one will be revealed, whom the Lord Jesus will overthrow with the breath of his mouth and destroy by the splendor of his coming. The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with the work of Satan, displaying in all kinds of counterfeit miracles, signs, and wonders, and in every sort of evil that deceives those who are perishing. They perish because they refuse to love the truth and to be saved." And it says, "For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion so that they will believe the lie." This is talking about Satan working in a way that deceives the whole world into thinking that lawlessness is cool and hip and trendy, and that they're all gonna, the people that it's deceiving are those who are perishing. Christians like us, we are like, we see it for what it is. We're like, what in the world is happening? And the rest of the world is like, no, this is like life now. You know, this is normal.
Right.
We are living in prophecy. Like this is talking about when Jesus returns, our world is going to be like this.
I want to add to that in 1 Corinthians 6:9, it says, it actually talks about the cross dressing, not necessarily directly, but it talks about the effeminate person. It says, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor the effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, and so on will inherit the kingdom of God."
That's literally everything that these people are promoting.
Yeah. But we are pointing this out because there is a really big push in the media for this specifically. And I think that it's because marriage between a man and a woman reflects the relationship with God, right?
Yeah, I know which verse you're thinking about. Love your spouse as
Christ loves the church.
Love your spouse as
Christ
even
loves
Christ
the
loves the
church.
church and has given himself for it.
Exactly. So the Bible is clear about that this is an image of God. And I really think that by breaking down that marriage, they can do that by pushing homosexuality, pushing pedophilia, pushing all those different things, so that the image of God gets broken down. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Satan hates God so much that he wants to pervert everything that God created.
Yeah. So Harry Styles, people are suspicious. I don't know, say suspicious, but they think that he is gay, even though he's never openly come out of it.
Really? I want to go down on the dude from the
Is
Beatles.
this about climate change? Wait,
I
totally
wear
lost.
dresses. Okay, anyway.
So he also played a gay man in a movie, and
It's just acting, guys. Come on.
and GMA went to talk to him about it.
Styles opening up about his upcoming role in the film My Policeman.
You can sense the waves. You know how strong they are.
The film, out in October, is set in the UK in the 1950s when it was still illegal to be in a same-sex relationship. Styles telling Rolling Stone, "It's obviously pretty unfathomable now to think, oh, you couldn't be gay, that was illegal. I think everyone, including myself, has your own journey with figuring out sexuality and getting more comfortable with it."
He says, "Oh, it's pretty unfathomable that back in the day you couldn't be gay." So it's obvious that he's trying to push this idea. He has this agenda to promote homosexuality. And again, I do believe that this is something that breaks down the image of God and that this is a purposeful thing.
He's saying that we're all like trying to figure out our sexuality and getting more comfortable with it. Sin is like that. The first time you do it, it's like, oh no, is anybody watching? Like it's taboo, your heart's racing. Next time, it's a little easier. Next time, it's a little easier. And until the next time you're doing it openly in front of everybody, you don't even care anymore. You're smoking the cigarette, right, blowing it in people's face. That's what he's saying. Like, the act of homosexuality is uncomfortable for a reason. God didn't create it that way.
Mhm.
But you do it over and over and over, and it
It
becomes normalized.
rewires your brain. It literally does.
Jonah preached that message to a wicked world and converted the whole city.
Right.
Right.
I mean, he didn't even want to do it because they were so wicked. He's like, I don't even want to talk to them. But when he shared that message, boom, they were converted. And that's what Satan's doing through the mainstream.
So, when he was on the red carpet for the premiere of My Policeman, he was wearing a green flower, which people believe is a reference to Oscar Wilde in 1892, who asked friends to wear a green carnation to the opening of his show. It became a part of gay signaling and would appear in Wilde's poetry.
Oscar Wilde was gay?
Apparently.
I guess so.
Is that who the movie's about?
I don't know.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Now, last little bit about Harry Styles. He participated in a Gucci commercial for a, I guess, like a new clothing, what do you call it? Set?
Clothing line.
Clothing line.
Yeah.
You know? And there was a lot of outrage about it because they believe they promoted pedophilia.
Oh my goodness.
In photos posted on Instagram, you'll see Harry Styles is holding and standing in front of what appears to be a child-size mattress while modeling a shirt with an angry-looking pink teddy bear on it. I actually looked up the artist's statement for this campaign. It's called Haha, and it's about Harry Styles' relationship with this designer. And at some point they write, starting with those small oddities that come together in childlike visions, it turns into a dream wardrobe, reflecting two creative spirits behind the collection. I don't know why any children is being mentioned in a campaign about two men that have a friendship. And then there's so much more to this because this child-like sized mattress just doesn't really make sense. One photo shows Harry standing in front of the mattress leaning against the wall. In others, he's seen caressing and carrying it. In others, and in accompanying video, he's seen dressing and undressing. So he's modeling clothes with this child's mattress and like taking off his clothes and putting it onto the mattress as such.
Oh, dude.
Pretty disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of outrage.
Balenciaga stuff.
Exactly. And I don't want to make a statement like, oh, Harry Styles is a pedophilia. We don't have enough evidence for that. I don't want to make that conclusion. But I'm pointing out like this is disturbing. People were very disturbed by it, not just Christians. I mean, the YouTuber who pointed us out is a gay man, you know? So I'm saying like it's not the Christian community that's having outrage. It is everybody's having outrage about it.
But when you put out a statement that says boundaries are only limiting you, where's the boundary on that statement?
That's a good question.
Because if you say, well, not in the sex world, not in age. Well, man, now you're putting boundaries on me, bro. I thought you said no boundaries. Your boundaries are limiting myself. If you say the age has boundaries, then you're limiting me now.
The irony of this is like, I'm sure these celebrities live in houses with boundaries around them.
Mhm.
Why?
Yeah.
Because we don't want a lot of people coming into our house taking whatever we want, right? So we like boundaries in certain applications.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ready for Ariana Grande?
Oh my.
Let's dive in. Teen Idol number 4. Interesting picture here on the front. This is actually from her music video where she sings God is a Woman.
There's a lot of symbology. There's the hand sign, there's the triangle, but even faded back here is like these.
It's the sun wheel again.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are very
These occult symbols. Yeah.
And she's pointing to the first chakra, which is the
Interesting.
vaginal area.
Yeah.
Making a sign.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so she has a music video out, and God is a Woman. Now, look at this segment here, and then we'll discuss after what she's actually saying.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my sisters. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you.
So it's
That's a gavel.
Yeah, it's a gavel, a judgment gavel. And she's obviously making a statement in a courthouse.
It's
that
like a
she's-
heavenly
Yeah,
court
that she's
scene.
she's also looking up. She's black, so
Mhm.
she's dark.
With horns.
She's got
Mhm.
horns. Yeah.
And she breaks the glass with the devil.
Or even if they're animal ears, right? God set up classes that man was to be the top,
beast.
right? Yeah, and it's like now all of a sudden it's
Yeah.
like man is like going less than, and then telling God like forget you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys recognize this line? Do you guys know where it's from?
No.
It's interesting. I was editing, and all of a sudden it popped in my head. I need to throw this in Google just to see where it's from.
One more thing before you move on.
Yeah.
Did you know that the Bible tells you that if you change any words of the Bible,
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, so this is
there
going to be
is
interesting.
a curse.
This is going to be interesting. Pulp Fiction.
Yes, and they actually blended Bible verses
Yeah,
together.
they
This
did.
wasn't even the real Bible verse. They made it say what they wanted to say. And here's the danger of reading the Bible out of context like this.
Yeah.
And then people aren't reading the Bible, so they think that this is straight.
Yeah. So she quotes Pulp Fiction. And so it says here, this is from Genius. Jules ritually recites what he describes as a biblical passage, Ezekiel 25:17, before he executes someone. Interestingly, this passage is different from the verse written in the Bible. And this is from Ezekiel. So in Pulp Fiction, I watched a clip. This guy here, his name is Jules. He's like saying all these things that she just said, literally those words, which, by the way, she also included, as you heard, I am the Lord,
Yeah.
right? So she's claiming to be God. And then he goes, pow, 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 and the person is dead. She
And
quotes
she's looking up to
that.
heaven
Mhm.
saying that to him, like, I'm going to kill
So
you.
she quotes that, saying, I am the Lord, don't come after me and my sisters, quoting scripture that has been misconstrued, and then throws this judgment javelin into the sky, breaking the glass, saying, like, you can't get to me.
Doesn't Lord just really mean master?
Yeah.
Like I am the master.
So this is the end of A God is a Woman. Check this out.
It lingers when we're done. You believe God is a woman.
So I really am questioning these people's logic here, because you needed a man to come into the existence. So if you have this worldview where it's like only women, feminism, whatever like this, you wouldn't exist.
Yeah. But besides that, she sings God is a Woman. And everybody knows this picture, this painting, where God points at Adam.
Well,
right?
it's not in the music.
God's fingers.
Yeah.
She's God in that.
It's not in the music video, but when she performed it live, she was Jesus at the Last Supper, and all the
Right.
women were around her and stuff. So she's blatantly, okay, God is a generic term, but we know this is biblical. We know the Last Supper is biblical. We know that scene is biblical. So she's attacking the biblical God.
And what a crazy thing, because, that experience of the cross was the pinnacle point of the great controversy in the war between Christ and Satan, right?
Yep.
And that Last Supper, I mean, there's so many rich things that happen there. They turned it into a dance show with like debaucherous dancing with nothing wearing. I mean, you probably can't even watch the video and be okay with that. You know, it's like, it's awful, awful. And what a mockery to God.
So speaking of the crucifixion, you guys notice what I'm noticing?
Wearing a crown of thorns.
Yeah, crown of thorns. Wow.
So I was looking at the left one. It could be that she's wearing like a Roman outfit and it looks a little bit like Caesar's thing. At the same time, it looks like a crown of thorns as well. And also it's being repeated at the end. So to me, it's like, you know, I don't think you can explain this away if this happens twice where it seems like it's like a artsy version of a crown of thorns.
Well, in Kabbalism, you become God. You work your way up the tree of life, Kabbalah's life tree, Kabbalah tree, and you end up being your own God. So in some way, she's signaling that she's reached that level.
And she is into Kabbalism.
I think so, because, you know, they always wear a red string. Have you seen that?
No.
Leonardo DiCaprio, red string. And whenever you see them at award shows or whatever, and they just have a red string, they're part of the Kabbalah.
Yeah, you can literally
Madonna has
look up
right.
purchase Kabbalah bracelet, and it'll just be the red string. You can buy it. But she had a music video. I can't remember the name of it, but
the one where the spaceship.
It had the Kabbalah tree was the key that she was using, and she had that red string, and it was all about Kabbalah.
No, she's open about it. She's into this.
The Eilish one, she saw the tree of Kabbalah.
Jewish mysticism.
Yeah. So speaking of what are her beliefs, what is her religion like? Here she is with Miley Cyrus and Lana Del Rey dressed up as demons, and the song is literally called "Don't Call Me Angel." Now, she's actually known publicly to get involved with some darker things. Look at this clip from a show called Scream Queens.
Kappa sisters, someone is screwing with us. This blood oath will ensure solidarity among us. We are all related now. Let's all touch bloody fingers as I read this oath. Hail Odin, wise warrior, one-eyed wanderer. Tell the scenes your missing eyes see.
Wait, Odin who? Where did you find that?
I don't know, the internet. I just Googled blood oath and this is what came up. Norse father, you who chooses the slain on this winter solstice.
What? Solstice? Is that Wiccan? What does this oath even mean?
I don't know, number 3. I didn't spend a lot of time on the internet looking through different blood oaths. I just need you all to not say anything about what happened, and I figured a blood oath was cheaper than buying you all presents.
Look, we're all just freaking out, okay? Let's just rub our fingers together and promise to keep quiet.
Fine.
So wait, what is this?
Scream Queens.
Nobody know it, like a TV show?
Yeah.
She was in a TV show?
I guess so.
There she meets
Dancing with the Devil.
And taking blood oaths and everything. like-
And Aubrey, would you like to explain to us who Odin is and what was happening in that scene?
Well, in Wiccanism, you choose a god to sacrifice your life to or channel, and you actually do a chant like that before doing a blood oath or a ritual. So they were actually summoning spirits.
So it's real life.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing a real life blood oath.
And is there a connection between Odin and Satan?
I'm not completely sure about that.
Okay.
But any god that you channel is channeling a demon or Satan.
Right.
So
yeah. So she's making a sacrifice to Satan, and then he's like,
but they
did
do,
a dance with the devil.
You know, they just do it in such a
Mm-hmm.
way that's like, I just found on the internet. Come on, let's do it. And it's just like that just lets your guard down. Like, oh, it's no big deal. They always try to introduce like taboo things, controversial things through comedy.
did you see how she smiled too when she was like, do you want to dance with the devil? And she's like, maybe.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that makes the viewer subconsciously like, oh, maybe this is supposed to be like kind of hot or something. You know?
Yep.
Here's a little clip, Hollywood Life, where they are discussing that she is going to cemeteries because she wants to check out the spirit stuff over there.
Hi, Hollywood Lifers. This is Holly Buzz with Bonnie
And Katrina.
Wow, Ariana Grande has got a real problem with demons, she told Complex magazine. Apparently, she went to a haunted cemetery called Stull Cemetery near Kansas City.
And it's actually supposedly one of the gateways to hell, supposed gateways to hell. And this is what she said happens. I felt this sick, overwhelming feeling of negativity over the whole car, and we smelled sulfur, which is the sign of a demon.
Who knew?
She said, this is scary, let's leave. I rolled down the window before we left and said, we apologize. We didn't mean to disrupt your peace. Then I took a picture, and there are 3 super distinct faces in the picture. They're faces of textbook demons.
That is so creepy.
It is super creepy.
And especially because she also says that she took the picture and she tried to send it to her manager, but it wouldn't download because it said it was too many megabytes. In fact, it was 666 megabytes, which is supposedly
the mark of the beast.
That's right.
And now Ariana is obviously very passionate about this demon encounter. She actually had a whole folder on her phone entitled Demons, but when the interviewer asked to see it, she said she had actually deleted it because so many crazy occurrences were happening. Ariana also said that she felt like the demons followed her back home. She had an encounter where she was sleeping, where she saw this black figure over her bed. She didn't want to feed the fear. She thought it was there, it wanted to scare her. So she just called her friend and she fell asleep on the phone. When she woke up, the room was demon free.
I remember hearing about the figure, the black figure.
Yeah.
How do you have encounters like this and you still play around with it? She's like, I know it's a demon. Okay, let's do a blood oath.
Right?
Yeah.
These ladies, I can't quite tell if they are actually like, you know, almost like sarcasm about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 666.
Yeah,
Didn't
that's
know that
the
about
mark of the
that.
beast,
Mark of the beast.
black cat. And,
Right. And I think the devil's great at disinformation as well, right?
Yeah.
So he's just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at you, so it's just confusing, and then people will dismiss when they hear things like Mark of the Beast 666.
Right.
Oh,
How many
whatever.
people really care that a black cat walks in front of them? Nobody. That's superstition. So the 666, whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty dark, right?
Yeah.
What I also find pretty dark is how, again, she is portraying her sexuality. So this is her video, Dangerous Woman, dressed up like, any
bunny.
playgirl, bunny, anyone?
Yeah.
Again, and I've seen pictures where people dress up like her for Halloween,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Kids are doing this kind of stuff. So there's this video here, a music clip where she is in a club and this is called Break Up With Your Girlfriend. So she's constantly singing, break up with your girlfriend. But who is she eyeballing? Is it the dude? Or is it the chick? Or is it both? And the girl is like looking at her like, come here, licking her lips at her. What?
Wow.
And
yeah.
this is fully portraying a threesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, it's crazy, dude. And this is, you know, a girl who grew up on Nickelodeon, and your kids were watching her on Nickelodeon, idolizing her, and now this is where they're following her too.
Right.
Yeah. So here there are, obviously drinking and whatnot. It just continues. They're just partying. Eventually, they'll end up going to this mansion, to this house, where they're all having a party, and this is what happens, right? She's in the pool, and she is like talking, kissing. The girlfriend and the guy are kissing, and she's like far off, and you're like, break up with your boyfriend, And then she gets pulled in. She hangs out and kisses the dude, and then the girl's like, "No, I want you, Ariana. We should kiss."
Man,
I mean, it is just
Lord have
ridiculous.
mercy.
I don't
on the
see
kids of this world.
how Sodom and Gomorrah could be much different than this.
Ariana Grande.
Yep.
Okay, hold on.
This is an impersonator,
Mm-hmm.
but they
Really?
all believe it's Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
I figured she doesn't look like herself.
And they the parents shove the kids like, go take a picture with this girl that promotes threesomes, that promotes selling your soul to Satan, doing
Blasphemy.
blood oaths, and says, I am God as a woman, I am God. And it's like, this is kids and teenagers that listen to her music and idolize her. Another person that started out on Disney is Sabrina Carpenter. And
Church, praying.
absolutely, she's in church. She is praying, but it is very blasphemous. So she did a video called Feather, where she talks about light as a feather because she's pushed aside all of the guys that were just like, just being annoying. And so she made a music video. And actually, at the end, she ends up dancing on the platform or the altar at a Catholic church. And the priest was fired over this because it was so provocative.
Wait,
right?
a real life priest?
Yes,
Because
a
they
real life
allowed her to be
priest.
in a real church.
Yeah, the priest allowed it, and then the Catholic church fired her over it. So
Wow.
let's take a look at this video. It is pretty insane. Now, here she is dancing, and oops, oh no, the guys that were bothering me got hit by a truck. Oh well. Here she's at a gym exercising. All of the dudes like her, and they're starting to fight over her and knocking each other down while she's taking pictures of herself.
Wow.
She's getting blood gushed on her, and she's like, oh, oops, uh-oh, well, I guess they're all dead. And then you see her walk into the frame, tiptoeing, and she kind of like kicks like, you still alive? Oh, you're not. Oh, well. And then the same thing happens. This guy took a picture of her butt while she was in the elevator, and she pulls his tie in, basically just like, bye-bye. And then again, there is blood coming out of the elevator. She just killed another dude. And now here she is in the Catholic church dancing around provocatively with the pastel-colored caskets, which are obviously from the dead dudes. She's having just a good old time in the Catholic church, mocking God.
So she's mocking God, but also something very interesting that's happening here as well. It seems like they're not making fun of this Catholic system.
No.
They're mocking, yes, but what's interesting is when you see them make fun of regular Christianity, they're missing teeth, they're whatever, right? They're these weird, like angry Christians and stuff like this, right?
Rednecks.
She's doing debaucherous stuff inside of the church here. Even Ariana Grande doing things that are like, I don't know if the artwork of is that Michelangelo that did the Last Supper?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
I think so.
Was he Catholic?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know, but do you see what I'm saying by like it's not necessarily making fun of it? It's like actually using sexualized imagery.
Yeah, drawing
inside,
you to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In a weird way, they're not sitting there saying like we don't want anything to do with the church. They're literally like doing this in the church.
If you pay attention, anytime Christianity is portrayed in the media, it's always a joke. Ned Flanders and all this stuff on The Simpsons. But if quote unquote Christianity or the Bible is portrayed in a good light, it's always a Catholic priest. Like if you're getting married, if Hollywood's getting married in a church, Catholic priest. If you need to cast a demon out, Catholic priest.
Right.
But it's the Christians that are the ignorant rednecks and all that.
Right. Do you notice another thing very interesting that you paused on this thing because there is a cross in the background, but she ain't looking at the cross.
Yeah, true.
She's looking away from it.
True. Very interesting.
You know, a lot of times we point out like, oh, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of homosexuality. There was more to it well, this is actually Noah's Ark. We point out that it's the sexual immorality, but it was also in Genesis 6:11. It says the earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So you see this combination all the time of sex and violence, just like here.
Yeah.
Blood and sexual promiscuity. When you see Cardi B, the music video starts out with somebody getting shot in the head, and then she's walking around naked, and they all die at the end. All these women are naked. Sex and violence.
It's a good point, because one of the most damaging porn that anyone could ever engage in watching is violent porn. And why would be the reason for that? Why would that be even more damaging than anything else? Because think about this. In this act of others-focused love, right? For you to kill someone and take their life and take pleasure off of it is the most opposite end of the spectrum than Jesus giving his life to save his friend, right? Or to save the world, or to save whatever, right? No greater love than anybody that gives his life for his friend.
Yep.
Right? So that is the opposite end of the spectrum when you harm somebody and take pleasure from
Combining the wickedest thing and the most beautiful thing and putting them together.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you see, like Marilyn Manson was Marilyn Monroe, Charles Manson, taking something beautiful and wicked and put them together.
So Sabrina Carpenter also talked about her song Feather in the Rolling Stone, about the whole controversy with this priest being fired over it. And this is what it says. The video, which dropped on Halloween, shows Carpenter dancing in a super sexy black lace dress and veil on the church's altar while being surrounded by pastel-colored coffins. And then she says, "We got approval in advance," the singer told Variety simply. And Jesus was a carpenter, because her name is Sabrina Carpenter.
Wow.
It's just like a slam on Christianity. She's like, and Jesus was a carpenter. It's like, wow. Okay, thanks for that. Now, you guys remember U2, the song Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So she, a
which
while
is
back,
a terrible song, by the way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So a while back, she did a collab with this guy, Peter Hollins, on his YouTube channel. I think she was still working for Disney at this point. Check out the lyrics of this song. "I have spoke with the tongue of angels. I have held the hand of a devil. It was warm in the night. It was cold as a stone. I believe in the kingdom come. Then all the colors will bleed into one. Bleed into one. But yes, I'm still running. You broke the bonds and you loosed the chains. Carried the cross of my shame. Oh, my shame. You know I believe it. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for." That's the song from U2 that literally says, you know what, I sort of believed in Jesus at one point, but I'm still running. Even though he did all these things for me, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. And this is a song that she covered.
Which, to the Christian experience at the cross, is what we've all been looking for. The God that loves humanity so much that he would be willing to come down here and take our penalty. He's taking our penalty so that we could even have the opportunity to go to heaven, right? And to sit there and say, you showed me all that, you carried the cross, you took my shame, you did all that, but you know what? I still haven't found what I'm actually looking for. That's straight evil.
Yeah, that's satanic. I mean, that is the devil.
Sad.
That is Satan.
Yes.
Satan was in heaven with God and perfection, and he said, you know what? This isn't for me.
It's evil.
Yeah.
Very, very sad. And so, speaking of the paranormal, again, because it looks like all these people are into the paranormal stuff, she's hugely into that as well. And she did an interview with iHeartRadio, the show Countdown. Let's take a look at what she says.
Sabrina, I am obsessed, as I think you know, with the paranormal. Ghosts, UFOs. I've got a podcast called Paranormalish. I'm just off the deep end. What is this? You like to, on tour, investigate or roam around haunted theaters and whatnot, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're so scary. There was a few I remember. Indianapolis, I think, was the most haunted one that I had been in. Do you know much about ghosts in Indianapolis? Because I probably have met a couple.
Please fill me in. What did you encounter? What's the name of this place, if you can recall all that stuff?
I don't remember what it was called. It was some theater. I'll find it. I'll send it to you. But it was a few years ago, and I just, from the second I walked in, when I'm one of those people. I feel energy shifts really intensely, and so when I walked into the theater, I could automatically sense that it was quite spooky. And after the show, me and my friends that were opening for me, we all went down to like the basement of this theater and just were exploring, and like it was all the like maybe cliche things like lights flickering, and then like we lost my friend in the dark, and then we were freaking out because we were like, oh my god, my friend was stolen. It wasn't stolen, just got lost because we were in the dark. But I don't know if I've encountered like the ghost of my dreams yet, but I'm still searching. What about you? What's your like best experience?
I've had some doors. I've never seen anything like, wow, that's a ghost, but I've had some doors unexplainably slam on me.
That's a no from me.
And that was kind of freaky. If you see anything on this next tour, if you stay in some haunted rooms, please let me know.
New Orleans. I'm going to be in New Orleans, and I'll make sure, because that's the, pinnacle of haunted.
So there's a consistent theme happening with these people: the occult, spiritualism, and demonic stuff, and this push for sexuality and the push for homosexuality and
God.
Transgender cross-dressing.
You know what I really wish? Here's an idea for a reality show. If anybody's listening out this and is this brave, right? What if somebody went undercover with these people and got close to this person and videoed them wherever they go? I would be super curious. When you go to New Orleans and you talk about like, oh, I'm looking for this occult, I'm looking for these haunted places, right? In New Orleans, there are actual real voodoo places where there is pictures of celebrities on the wall. I watched this whole very interesting testimony about this guy who came out of the music industry, and he had talked about how when he went to this place, he was like, wait, I know that artist. Wait, I know that artist. I know that artist, all over the walls. And the voodoo priest was literally like, you know why those people are famous? They're all here and they all do this.
Roger Morneau says the same thing. Again, this former Satanist who became a Christian says the same thing. They sell their soul because they want the fame. They're all into this stuff.
If you actually could see what this person has gone through or currently is going through to make it famous, it would make you absolutely disgusted. You probably wouldn't listen to her content. I don't know. I'd hope so. I hope that after this conversation, people make some choices.
Right.
So, common theme, right? Occultism and, again, sex. Look at what MTV talked about.
Sabrina Carpenter did not hold back when she told fans exactly what her scandalous birthday wish was. What X-rated gift did Sads openly request? Okay, guys, what do you think?
I think she wanted some D.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right, the time has come for a Sabrina Carpenter reveal. The correct answer is she asked for a hookup. The 24-year-old nonsense artist explicitly made a request for please while freestyling during a recent show in New York City. The icon later confirmed on Twitter that she was very much not kidding.
Not kidding. So on stage, she was saying,
she's like, I want some D. And then she's like, I wasn't kidding. She's like calling out, like, hey guys, you want to go meet up?
It's like the harlot of Babylon, you know?
Wow. It's very, very, very sad. And again, like, this is what kids are consuming. They grow up with Disney, they grow up with her, and then she changes into this kind of a persona. And like, you would wonder why your kids are so rebellious. About why your kids sleeping around all of a sudden. You raise them in a Christian home, raise them with Christian values.
How often does a Disney star turn into a famous Christian singer?
Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, Miley
No, I'm saying turn into a Christian singer.
Oh, I see.
It never works the other way. So I mean, we're seeing a pattern. It's always path of destruction.
Yeah.
In Disney, I'm just saying this from my own perspective, based off of what you're saying and just putting the pieces together. It's a way to groom the children. That's all it is. So you're kind of grooming your children along with them as you watch their content. Think about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So obviously she's also into the whole promoting the LGBTQ thing. This is from Billboard, and it says...
I think they have to do that.
I do too.
Yeah. I think so.
Go woke or go broke.
So it says Sabrina Carpenter's love letter to the LGBTQ community. This is also an Instagram post by her. Happy Pride Month to each and every one of you beautiful souls that make this world a better place just by being you. I love you so much. And lastly, she was performing her song Skin at the GLAAD Media Awards, and she had videos and pictures of LGBTQ people playing in the background. So, does this affect you neurologically? I've used this clip so many times. This is actually a cutout from a video I made about the Barbie movie. If you look up the Barbie movie on our channel, you'll find this clip in there. But again,
We'll put a link right here.
We'll put a link right here. Again, yes, there's science that backs up this idea that you are literally, well, you can say brainwashed, right?
Yeah.
You are brainwashed. Your brain is being trained to copy these individuals.
The name mirror neuron comes from the fact that they fire both when you do something and when you watch someone doing something, even if you don't move a muscle. Basically, it's as if they mirror the neural activity of the person actually doing the thing.
In other words, by beholding, we become changed. But we all, with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image, from glory to glory, just as by the Spirit of the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
The Bible was way ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
And God's saying, look, if you behold me, through Bible
God's
study,
word, prayer.
His word, prayer, spending time with the Lord, you'll become more like me. This is why we have such a powerful testimony as Christians, because what we once were, we no longer are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people see that and they're like, wow, what do you have? I want that.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we as human beings are also naturally drawn to sin. And so when you behold sinful nature, right, you become just like it. The Bible says it and science backs it up.
Oh.
So why does this matter? When I went through this whole research bit, I thought of Revelation 20 verses 7 through 9, which says, now, when the 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, whose number is as the sand of the sea. They went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. This is talking about after the millennium, right?
Mm-hmm.
These individuals that have not chosen Jesus are on the earth. They are as the sand of the sea. The majority of the people are outside of the New Jerusalem. God's people are inside, and God deceives them. Satan deceives them again and says, "Look, we can take the city. Let's do it. Let's go." And that's when they are destroyed, right? It's like the one last hurrah from Satan to try to destroy God's people and God. And God's like, enough. And so, you won't just end up there by chance.
Mm-hmm.
You end up there because you've been programmed your whole life to be in Satan's camp.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine any loving parent out there to say, I couldn't care less. I'm just going to let my kid end up in Satan's camp. If you truly love your child, you want to do everything under the sun to make sure that your child is on God's side and is safe within the city in Jerusalem, right? I mean, you guys are parents. You would do everything you possibly can to raise your kids in the fear of the Lord.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't show your kids this kind of junk.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, I want my kid to love Jesus, and it's free will. But you want to give them that chance to get to know Jesus.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's why we try to create things that are safe for kids, because we're trying to combat this stuff.
Exactly.
Amen.
So
we want to be caught inside the city at this moment.
Yes. And so I talked about that earlier. There is a broad way and there is a narrow way. Matthew 7:13 through 14. Enter by the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Because narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. I don't think this means, well, God just made it difficult.
Yeah.
I think what it means is that Satan is constantly out there, but Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, right? So choosing Jesus, he gives us all the opportunity, all the strength to choose him, all the strength to walk the narrow road. But there are temptations you have to fight. That's why it says, broad is the way that leads to destruction. It's the easy way, because it's like, do whatever you want. Everybody's doing it. There's no peer pressure. I can do whatever I want to do, and there's no rules.
But that's not the way it leads to life. It leads to destruction. Like we were talking about, the train with Satan on the front, that story where people are all on it and they don't know where they're headed and they're having a grand old time. And the train goes right to destruction why? Because Satan is controlling it. And so we have a choice.
The train conductor.
We have a choice today, right? I know you told me there's people in your church, parents, that listen to Taylor Swift. The kids listen to Taylor Swift, right? Or at your son's school, I think. Christian school.
Oh, it's in the church too.
Christian
It's
church
everywhere.
school.
There's a lot of Christians standing up for her.
We have a video on Taylor Swift, by the way. So please go check it out. It's on our channel.
And at last, just like do some research. Just please do some research. Like, you know, if you parents have young kids, don't just let your kid listen to whatever, because music is very powerful. I mean, you know, it's a sermon, for lack of a better word.
I want to encourage all the parents out there. I want to look in this camera because I want to talk directly to you as parents. I want to encourage you. I want to say, this day, choose you whom you will serve. For me and my house, we will choose to serve the Lord. And I'm encouraging you to do the same. Like Scotty said, look into this and decide for yourself, who are you serving? Because we cannot pick from both sides and think that we are serving the Lord. Read Revelation 2 and 3 about the Laodicean church, right? God doesn't want us to be lukewarm. He is coming soon. And right now is the time to stand up and say, for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Though the heavens may fall, we're standing with God.
Amen.
So with that being said, this is a very important message. I'm glad we all could do it. I'm glad we all could be here. And I'm glad you guys could be here too at home. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking around with us this long. Thank you for supporting us. There's a lot of people that support our ministry, which we are super grateful for because we cannot do it without you. And if you would like to join as well, you can do so on patreon.com/littlelightstudios or go to lls.tv/give. Also, we got awesome Christian t-shirts for you. Scotty's wearing one right now. It's part of our clothing line, Lightwear. You can go to lightwear.shop to get yours, and we got them for kids too. If you have some young ones at home that you would love to gift a cool Christian t-shirt where you can spread a positive message. We also got a podcast, Little Light Studios podcast. Look it up wherever you listen to your podcasts. And Mikey, what else do we have?
We have Little Light Kids.
That's right.
Get on YouTube and type Little Light Kids and click subscribe because we're trying to grow that channel. We want to put out good, wholesome, biblical quality entertainment for your children that they can actually watch and enjoy and not be brainwashed by the things of this world, by all the agendas of the world, but good, wholesome things. So check out Little Light Kids.
Yep. Thank you guys so much. Please, please, please like this video and comment and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, because by you liking and just simply leaving a comment, you are actually helping this video get out into the algorithm. And with that, really, you are doing the ministry with us, because that means that we can get it out to more people. So if you were impacted by this video, hit like, hit subscribe, comment below, and we'll see you next time on LD Live.
If you're looking for good, wholesome, educational content for your children, subscribe to our new channel, Little Light Kids.